If you want to start making YouTube videos, you have to start making videos.
Wow,
Oh, that
amazing.
is such a crazy, amazing idea.
Holy crap, Robin.
Oh my God,
I have my babies.
I started making YouTube videos back in January of 2020, and I feel like I had been wanting to make YouTube videos for a lot longer than that. I had procrastinated like the best of them. I had watched so many YouTube videos on how to make YouTube videos, how to start a channel, and there was just like one day where everything just kind of clicked and I said, you know what, I'm gonna try this. I really found myself tired of Instagram and posting work in progress photos over there. I felt kind of stunted in the way that I could explain myself in just a caption, so I decided to dive in and make YouTube videos. And yeah, I wish I could kind of tell you that it was as easy as just saying I'm going to turn on a camera and talk to it, but we all know that YouTube is a little bit harder than that. Even though I had decided that I wanted to create YouTube videos, that does not mean that I didn't have that imposter syndrome coming up behind me telling me that my ideas weren't important or that my projects weren't anything special. And I especially thought that I really didn't have anything special to offer in my videos that hadn't already been said on the platform. And chances are, if you're watching this video, then you might be feeling the same way. I'm here to tell you that what you have to say is important. It doesn't matter if it's been done before, it just matters that it hasn't been done by you yet. And that was something that I am still coming to grips with after doing YouTube for about 2 years, is that even though people have made the same armor that I have made, or they've made the same costumes I made, no one has made a costume the way that I have made a costume, for better or for worse.
What's up? Welcome to my channel. I'm super professional.
If you want to start making YouTube videos, you have to start making videos.
Wow,
Oh, that is
amazing.
such a crazy, amazing idea.
Holy crap, Robin.
Oh my God,
I have my babies.
Okay, look, I know that it's easier said than done to just say you have to start making videos to make videos. But whenever I was outlining this video, that's the thing that I kept coming back to, is that it's true. In order to make videos and in order to really learn to do anything in life, you're gonna have to actually step out and do the thing. The fact of the matter is that your first videos are going to suck. In fact, your first 100 videos are going to suck, and I am proof of that because hello, this is video 83, and I don't think I have made one perfect video on this channel. Just like creating cosplay and costumes, I like to remind people that this is a marathon and not a sprint. Do not expect to see overnight growth immediately after you post your first video. This is not TikTok where you can just post a video and go viral overnight. But just like with cosplay and making things, I urge you to fall in love with the process of making YouTube videos first, as opposed to the idea of having a YouTube channel in general. But hopefully by showing you my process of how I actually sit down to film these videos for you guys and get them edited and uploaded will kind of ease the anxiety, or kind of just show you how, I don't want to say easy because YouTube videos are not easy, but how accessible it is for you to do just with like something like a phone camera. Consider this video my permission slip to you to create a video of your own. You don't have to have a grand idea of creating a career out of YouTube in order to want to make YouTube videos. You may just want to share something that you really enjoy with the world, and that is totally okay. So this is your permission slip to go out there and do that. Now, as a cosplay content creator, video creator on this website, I have the unique challenge of having to create a video about creating a thing while also creating the thing and keeping that thing on track in order to get completed, while also filming a tutorial video for you. Did that make any sense at all? First off, this is what a typical YouTube work week looks for me. And yes, I do consider this work. I would not get anything out for you guys if I didn't consider it some level of work. And honestly, it keeps me accountable and keeping myself consistent on YouTube, which is also important, but is for another video. I'll usually work on cosplay projects from about Thursday to Saturday. Sundays are typically my filming days where I film these, talking head videos right to the camera. And then Monday and Tuesday I reserve for editing. And that also doesn't mean that whatever I'm working on from Thursday to Saturday ends up being the video for that week, but sometimes it does line up that way. So what I'll do on Thursday is I will start to brainstorm what I think next week's video will be about. I do have a content calendar that I created in Notion, and it kind of has a rough schedule of the ideas I want to put out on a certain week, but I'm also not afraid to switch things up. In fact, the reason that I'm making these couple videos right now is because I got a lot of videos from you guys on my last burnout video about wanting to know more about my YouTube process, so I decided to switch things up and get these videos out to you guys. What I'll do before Sunday is I'll sit down on Saturday, sometimes early Friday, and I'll start to outline the video. Sometimes I will outline the video in just bullet points, like I kind of did that for this video. Other times I have fully scripted the video. Now, in terms of fully scripting a video, I don't usually follow a script. I'm one of those types of people that sometimes if I get all of my words out onto a page, I feel like I can better talk about it later. It's more so for me to kind of jog my memory, brainstorm as I write. And for this example in this video, let's say that I'm going to be making a tutorial about Bo-Katan's shoulder pieces. Now I could just make this a cut and dry tutorial on how to take a 3D printed piece and make it into Bo-Katan's armor. However, I like to focus on one specific thing or a special technique within the video in order to make it a little bit more searchable. So one of the things that you'll probably come to realize on YouTube is one, that YouTube is a search engine. So you're going to want to make your content in some way searchable. And even though there are people that will be interested in wanting to watch a Bo-Katan armor tutorial, there are definitely people out there wanting to make that costume, I will have a lot more traction on a video if I frame it around the idea of, okay, I'm making these Bo-Katan shoulders, however, I'm really going to show you how I smooth my 3D printed pieces and get them to a finished costume piece that I can wear. So there's going to be a lot more people searching for a broader thing like smoothing 3D printed pieces as opposed to people searching for Bo-Katan armor tutorials. Once I'm finished with the general outline, I will then start to think back on my own experience of making that thing that I'm making a tutorial about. Now this is personal preference, but I feel like a lot of tutorials are kind of missing a personal element to them. And I think it's because a lot of us are so focused on getting all the steps, you know, 1, 2, 3, making sure that everything is clear cut and concise and that you can understand what we're doing so that you can in turn make the thing. However, I really appreciate tutorials where people tell me, hey, I experienced this kind of mess up whenever I did this specific part of it. Or, you know, if you're going to be working with this material, make sure that you look out for X, Y, and Z. I just really like that personal element. And I feel like you guys like that too, because I share so many of my failures on this channel. In fact, some of my first videos that ever got picked up were me taking busted 3D prints and making a finished helmet out of that. I hadn't seen people doing that on YouTube where they would take a 3D print that had not finished correctly and, you know, body shopping it up and making it into a wearable helmet. I feel like especially in the 3D printing sphere of things, people are so obsessed with a finished 3D print looking absolutely pristine when a lot of the time for cosplayers, we don't need that because we're going to be body shopping these things with Bondo and we're going to be filling in all of the layer lines anyway. I urge you, if you're going to be making tutorials on video, don't be afraid to add in bits of your personality into your tutorial. If you're not comfortable sharing your mistakes, then you can just kind of share how you felt while you were making it. Were you feeling especially frustrated because you were learning a new technique? Were you frustrated at how long it took you to pattern a certain piece of a costume? Then talk about it. It could be incredibly cathartic, especially for you to talk about it, but it also is incredibly relatable to the viewer to realize, wow, okay, if I start to experience some type of frustration over making this thing, then I'm not alone. So if I have any of those like anecdotes and stories that I want to tell in the video, I make sure to write those down on my outline as well. And I like to make sure that my outlines are completed before Sunday so that I can make sure to try and get a good night's sleep going into the filming day. And also so that I feel like I'm going into filming with some sort of a roadmap or a plan. So then it comes to Sundays, and this is my filming day. I basically dedicate the entire day to getting videos filmed. Sometimes I will film just one video and sometimes I will do 2 videos like I'm doing today. And it all just kind of depends on my headspace. Now, I usually start filming around 11 o'clock in the morning because I like to have natural light coming in from my window so I don't have to worry about any type of studio lights. I film on a Sony ZV-1. However, I'm going to mention a lot in this video and also in my upcoming gear video that you do not need to go out and buy a dedicated camera for YouTube. Please use whatever camera you have available to you. If you have a smartphone, you have an incredibly great camera in order to film on. And I would know because I filmed about a year's worth of videos on my iPhone. So please don't go out and buy a camera just specifically for YouTube. Don't think that you need the highest level of gear in order to start. Look back at my videos on my channel from like January 2020. Like they were shot on a DSLR camera that was not meant for filming and they're so shaky and some are out of focus. We all start somewhere and you're going to grow and learn. You'll know when you want to upgrade and when you're going to absolutely need that upgrade in terms of filming. Anyways, back to my actual filming process. So some days I am totally on fire and I can get a video done in 20 minutes, and then there are other days, like I'm thinking today is going to be, that it's just like pulling teeth to get words out of my mouth correctly and it'll take me like 2 or 3 hours. And I have not always been comfortable in front of the camera. In fact, I still don't feel like I'm very comfortable in front of the camera, but it's something that you get used to the more and more you do it. And that is the important thing, is that you sit down and you do it every single week, because you're not going to get better at talking to a camera if you don't talk to a camera. Once I'm done with filming, I will then typically sit down and take a couple of thumbnail photos that I could potentially use for obviously the thumbnail in the future. Or if I was thinking ahead, I would have taken some, you know, nice before and after shots of whatever I'm making a tutorial video on, kind of like the thumbnails that I will show on the screen for you guys right now. After I'm finished with my videos and filming, I'll take my SD card and transfer all of the footage onto my external hard drive, and I'll place it under the same folder, usually named whatever the video is going to be about. Sometimes if I want to set myself up for the next day of editing success, I'll take all of the raw footage that I just filmed and dump it into a timeline in Final Cut Pro. This is also the time whenever I go through my external hard drive in order to find footage of me making the thing that I'm talking about in the video. If I was doing my data management right and making sure that all of my projects were in great, nice labeled folders, I will easily be able to pull this out for use in the next day of editing. Mondays, I start editing the video, and what I will always do before I even start clipping or cutting any of my footage together is I will go in and I will analyze my audio, because my audio is like my Achilles heel whenever it comes to making videos. I usually have to denoise 3D printers in the background of my videos, but if you're smart and don't film around 3D printers, then you don't have to worry about that. But I do like to go in and analyze my audio first while all of my timelines are uncut, so I don't have to copy and paste it onto these clips later. After the audio is all nice and sounding at least a little bit better than before, I will go through the entire timeline, and this is what is referred to as A-roll, and I will go through the entire timeline of my footage and cut and paste everything together to make it some kind of semblance of a narrative, because what you're not seeing in these videos is all the times that I mess up, and I mess up a lot.
Huh?
I burped.
Oh.
I will also put down below how much raw footage I had for this video so you can see kind of just how much I had to work with. So this first go around I like to call my rough edit. This is again where I'm just trying to get the narrative right, and then I will go back through and I will do what is called a breath edit, or what I like to refer to as a breath edit, because I like to cut my videos in a way where you cannot tell that I am breathing. Now it's really just the style of editing that I like. You may see this referred to as jump cuts as well, and to do this I will typically just go through and look at the audio track on my A-roll and notice anywhere that it sort of dips kind of like this, and I don't really know the technical term, and I'll immediately cut that out. That's showing in the audio that I am either breathing right there or there's just a lull in any type of talking that I know I immediately can cut that out. After that, I'll give the entire video an entire listen through, and I will adjust things that I may have chopped off too closely, or if I didn't cut enough of a breath off. And then it's around this time that I start to think about what overlays or B-roll footage that I want to put above the things that I'm talking about in the video. For the most part, I've already got a lot of this B-roll filmed, and the bulk of that has already been done while I was working on the project. However, there are times that I've forgotten to film things like a product that I'm talking about or a specific step in the process. The goal with this specific editing is to get as much of the B-roll that I already have filmed onto my timeline as possible. Once I'm finished with editing in my existing B-roll, I will then give the video another watch through, and I will be making sure to pay close attention to places where I think that the video starts to get a little bit boring and could benefit from like a graphic or some type of editing trick or editing gag. And again, this is also where I will write in places where I think I could film a little bit of additional B-roll. Once that's all done, I will usually take a break, honestly, because I've been staring at my screen for a little bit too long. And then I will take my notebook and I will go and gather all of the things that I had written down, like creating text overlays. Sometimes I will do those in Final Cut Pro, and sometimes I will get those out of a program called PicMonkey that I will import in. And also if I need to film any extra B-roll. This is usually about the time where I'm wrapping up editing on Monday, and then the rest of this will usually go on to Tuesday. Once I've got everything filmed and imported into my Final Cut Pro, I will then go back in and do a second round of B-roll edits. I will basically go through and make sure I've got all my overlays in the right places, all my graphics put where I want them. Once all of the overlays and B-roll have been added into my liking, I will then go and concentrate more on my A-roll, or the talking head portions of the videos. I like to crop in for emphasis on some things that I'm talking about, and sometimes I will do like slow zoom in effects. And once that is all done, it is finally time to add in some sound effects and music to the video. I get all of my sound effects from Epidemic Sound, but you can totally use the built-in YouTube Studio library. I used to use that in the early days of me making videos, and it's totally fine. I will usually add like small pop effects of graphics whenever they're on screen, just to kind of call your attention that there's something there to see. And occasionally I will add music into the background of some of my videos, usually to kind of mask the sound of 3D printers. Now, don't feel like you need to put background music in your videos. In fact, whenever you're starting, I would maybe suggest not doing it because trying to balance audio with you speaking as well as the sound audio is pretty difficult, and there are a lot of examples on my channel of me not doing it correctly. Guidance along the way and things like that. So I would almost suggest not using background music. However, sound effects are pretty important to call attention to things on the screen that you want people to notice. Now, whenever I add in all of my sound effects and my music to my videos, I do have to do a little bit of audio balancing like I mentioned earlier. Usually this means that I will bring my background music to about like -40 in my audio mixer, and then all the sound effects will be about -10. And now finally, it is time for the final watch through of the entire video. By this point, I am pretty tired of listening to myself talk. I am just ready to put this online and wash my hands of it. But I do stick with it and make sure that all of the audio levels are fine, that I haven't missed some type of thing in editing, or if there isn't some like last minute thing that I want to add into it before I export it. But once I'm done listening to that video all the way through and things are sounding and looking like I want, I will then export it and then upload it to YouTube. And this is the time that I do the actual last thing I do before all the other stuff that goes alongside with putting up a video. And that is I watch my YouTube video again on YouTube, because I have personally found whenever I upload my videos that the sound kind of gets compressed in a certain way, and sometimes my audio levels, even in my Final Cut Pro, will not match up to what is actually being on YouTube. Like sometimes it'll just be a lot quieter. If it makes you feel any better, audio, again, is my Achilles heel. It is the thing that I'm still trying to learn after 2 years, so give yourself a little bit of grace if you don't quite understand it yet. You will learn as you grow. And that is my process for filming videos from beginning to end, at least the talking head portion of the video. Now, if you want me to go into more detail about how I manage the process of making things and filming shots whenever I'm making my costumes, I can totally put together a video about that. But I wanted to just show you the typical work week in my life of doing YouTube videos because I really enjoy seeing people's process, and hopefully this will kind of show you that it's doable. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of editing work that goes into making videos. However, it is really cool whenever you're done with it and you've got a video to show, like for all of those efforts that you did. Even though you may not have known how much work went into my YouTube videos, I do, and I feel incredibly fulfilled whenever I upload a video onto YouTube for you guys. And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret that has helped me to upload over 80 videos in the span of 2 years. As someone who is a closet perfectionist, even though it looks on the outside that I am just full of chaos, and that is the maxim that done is better than perfect. Now, if you wait until your video is absolutely 100% perfectly edited and pristine, you are never going to upload a video, and you are most certainly not going to press publish on a video. Understand that every new video you put out, you can improve upon, and your videos are only going to get better with time. Now, there's still a lot of other stuff that has to go into preparing a video to go live, like thumbnails, descriptions, you know, keyword research and all that stuff, but that is a whole other video, and if you want me to talk about that, I can certainly do that. I feel like I've asked you guys if you wanted me to talk about a bunch of other stuff in this video. Sorry for being annoying about that, but I just really like talking about YouTube and all that kind of stuff. But hopefully seeing my process of how I make a video from beginning to end has shown you that it is totally doable, if not just a lot of, you know, staring at a screen and editing. I really want to encourage you guys to get out there and make videos and talk about the things that you love, because even if you don't feel like your voice matters, it totally does, because you don't know who is going to watch your videos. I can't even tell you how amazing it feels whenever someone sends me a photo of a costume that they made from one of my tutorials, or they've told me that I got them into cosplay. Like, it is, I don't take that lightly. I really don't take that lightly. As someone who went to school for education and ended up not going into education, but still had that kind of like bug to teach people, it is the best thing that you can say to someone like me is to tell me that I inspired you to make something and that you're just so happy and you didn't think that you could do it before watching my videos. Like, I just thank you guys so much. And I have learned so much about myself from making these YouTube videos, from, you know, just sharing with the community what I know and what I don't know and learning from you guys. So don't underestimate the power of video and the connection that you can have whenever you make video. Don't underestimate the power of sharing your voice through video and the connection that you get through sharing videos on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!